John Haddock here with Think About Comics, joined by
Boy William Bethea.
Today we're going to be talking about the big crossover mega X-Men event,
Whew.
Tenosaurs, the Creation, Part 1 of 22.
22.
That's a lot of books.
Lot of books.
And this book was really long.
This book was long, but it was great. And the beautiful thing about it being long and great is because it was very detailed and it brought everything together. And when I say everything, it brought all the X titles together. Everything you was thinking about with Excalibur, everything you was talking about with X Factor now, everything got touched in this comic. Everything. Everything. Matter of fact, not only did everything get touched, let me tell you something. Apocalypse. I love him. I tell you right now, there's a reason why he's been the great dude that he's been. The master of survival of the fittest. Hey, if the whole time he been looking for the strongest mutants to come out of this so he can go crack some heads in some other dimension, so be it. I am there for the show. I am there for the show. And then, to finally get there, the tears, he was so joyous. And then his kids cut him down. Oh, Lord. They've been waiting thousands of years to cut him down. Oh, man. Yo, this was a perfect book.
Really?
Oh, my. Everything.
Let me just say this.
Yes.
So you liked it.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
going to disagree with you a little bit on a couple of things.
Okay, go forward.
So, my biggest problem with the X books is there's so many of them, and a lot of them don't pertain to the story. Like, X Factor hasn't found its place yet. Hellions really hasn't found its place yet. Excalibur is that fantasy mixture of the character, like the magic mutant aspect of it. I stopped reading it after issue, 6. But I felt like it couldn't get that groove. New Mutants, I have no idea what they're trying to do. I couldn't get into that one.
Okay.
X-Men, the main title X book,
Okay.
hasn't found its pace yet. Its storylines they don't develop into anything.
Okay.
You have the first couple issues were the summer vacation.
Yeah.
With Scott Summers and his kids.
Yeah.
Then it went to what happens when a mutant loses their powers, retains them back, and they go through this weird ritual. Mm-hmm. So you're like, okay, you get on that bus. Then another episode talks about this vault thing where you see X-23 and some other mutants go into it. Never hear from them again. Mm-hmm. My problem is you have a lot of storylines that haven't developed into anything, but yet we go into this big event, and I feel like Krakoa as a country, as a storyline for the X-Men, isn't big enough, and that story hasn't been developed enough for me to care about this giant event because they're still developing themselves. There's so much more I want to know for you to come and say, okay, now everything's going to come together in the story event. But it's like you've only talked about stuff in certain issues. The only X-Men book, in my opinion, that has been able to develop itself into kind of like a good story format is X-Force.
Okay.
X-Force is the one that it picks up where it left off and it goes through. Marauders used to do that. It's starting to go away from that. Okay. X-Men doesn't do that. Mm-hmm. X-Force does. I don't know how this book is doing. I hate the fact that I'm going to have to get, New Mutants, X-Factor, Hellions, books that I would normally not get to read this book. This book gives me a ton of information, and I like that. I really enjoyed that. Yeah. But there was so much stuff in there that I had to stop and look up and research. And to me, I felt if I'm reading X-Men, X-Force, Marauders, I dip into some of the other books, like I got the first couple issues of all of them, and they're only on issue 10. The gap that I didn't know was pretty big.
Oh yeah.
And the fact that they're expanding on this and really giving this a big focus when their primary back stuff, like their primary issues and their primary catalog of X-Men line books, hasn't fully developed yet. Like, they're a full year into this.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like the X books haven't found what their pace is and what they want to become. And I think that this is, pushing it way too fast. Like, I feel like they should have gave more thought on the first 12 issues of their toy line comic book stuff. Of, you got to collect them all and read them all before they went into an event. Because when this came out, I was like, I mean, I'm going to read it, but I'm not as thrilled as it is. I mean, a prime example would be the Wolverine book.
Yeah.
One issue he's dealing with Dracula. The next he's dealing with something completely different. Mm-hmm. And it feels like you missed an issue. That's the misstep of the X-Men books. You always feel like you've missed something. And then when you read this, you're playing catch up with a lot of the characters. Hickman's doing a great job at utilizing all the X-Men in this book.
Yes.
You get everybody. But at the same time, you have so many characters that are undeveloped, and I'm going, wait, what is this person? And then I thought the one girl was Emma Frost for the longest time.
Yeah, the way she looked.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wait, is this an Excalibur thing? Because
this is Excalibur. This is heavy Excalibur.
And here's the thing: she was on the cover. I thought it was her because she was on the cover of the last Excalibur book, which talks about him killing all the ancient mutants to build the gateway.
Yeah.
And I read those books leading into this event because I was like, hey, I usually don't read Excalibur. Yeah. Let me get onto this. And I still felt like I was behind. I feel like if they want a lot of people to get into this event, because it feels like they're excluding a lot of people. Like, this is only for you, guys like you who are buying every single X book and getting them all. And if I'm not doing that, I'm out of the loop. And I've been reading X-Men, X-Force Marauders, Wolverine, and I've given a shot at every single X book, and I got all the preludes, and I'm still kind of like, hold on a sec, what are we doing? And I get Hickman wants to kind of keep that suspense, but at the same time, you need to give me something. Like, there's so much shit happened in this book.
Yes.
It's like, dude, slow down. You're giving me so much information in the panels, and then you're giving me a pull-out page, not a pull-out, but a spread page of a diagram. Yeah. So I gotta like break down this subculture within these characters, and then the next page you're telling me all this crazy dialogue of these new characters so I'm trying to learn. Yeah. And the next page is a diagram breaking down the summoner and his abilities. There's so much stuff in this. If you like meticulous things, and if you like getting your hands on a massive lore, this is the book to get.
Yes.
But you gotta follow it. Like, this is not a fun read, in my opinion. This is one of those reads that you gotta sit down and be dedicated to it. Like, and you gotta kind of make your own mental notes for stuff. Because this book will not hold your hand. And I've said that in the past with the Scott and Snyder stuff, where he holds your hand a lot. He throws you in the woods and shuts the lights off, in my opinion, with Hickman, with X-Men. Especially if you're not buying every single X-Men book.
But, okay, and I feel what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, but my interpretation of this is not only was this book very detailed, but when you go across the line of the X-Men titles, even the ones that went into Empire, they all work together. So this is what we have come now to be the norm with Hickman running this from Dawn of X, running this from Powers and House. Okay, this is a whole new universe. Yeah. He is world building, and this is world building from, and we have to remember this. This is world building from the vantage point of a mutant that was never a mutant before. This is about the lives of Maura McTaggart. So all this wild stuff that's happening right now is coming from the realization of these are the corrections and the things we have tried to make to get to this point where we are not done at the end and on a preserve for humans that have evolved and not the mutants. Mm-hmm. This is all leading us up to, hey, are we good enough to be a part of the phalanx? So, when you look at it as that, and when you look at it as, okay, that's the end game of what Xavier found out, and now all the mutants are trying to come together. Because remember, these different storylines that are playing out ultimately are trying to keep mutants alive.
Yeah.
And not on a preserve. This title is truly for those that are saying, hey, if I'm a comic collector, I'm reading X-Men. And Hickman is saying, hey, you can dabble in the other books and you can have like a favorite, but if you want to know the law, if you want to know real what's up, we are going to make all the X titles mean something. And not only that, when you look at the X-Men now in other comics, because we read a lot of comics, and you see them, their demeanor is different now. I mean, I don't know if Hickman has talked to them or other books, but you gotta tote the line with these X characters.
Yeah.
You gotta tote the line. If this is how they being displayed in the X books, you better make sure they being displayed the same way.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They are doing that. They are doing a good job of showing how they are in different books. But I'm saying with this book here as a crossover event, like I read it, I was entertained, but there's so many head scratching moments for me, and there's so many. Like this book took me like 40 minutes to get through because I had to stop, look something else up, digest everything that I just took, and then go on. The payoff, I think, if you are a good X-Men fan and you care about this, is huge. But if you're kind of a happy-go-lucky, I'm going to check it out because it's a crossover event, you're going to be done. You're going to be lost in the sauce. You're going to drop this. You're going to drop it as fast as you can. But this is for the hardcore X-Men fan.
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
This is for the Betheas out there, not me.
Ooh, Lord.
Right? It's not for it.
Eating it up.
In my opinion, honestly, I think this book, what it offers is what a lot of comic books, especially for Marvel and DC, don't do. It's something new, something really ambitious, and it's coming at you from left field. You have no idea what's going on. If you're one of those guys that really wants something new, I suggest you sit down, read a bunch of old X-Men books, like from the not old ones, but I'm saying the back issues of this new stuff, and then get into this. Because the payoff, in my opinion, will be a lot better once you realize what's going on.
Oh yeah.
But I mean that's really how I feel in this book.
Hey, look. Hey, I'm an X-Men head, but I put this along with Metal for DC.
Yeah, and I think that's what it's trying to compete with.
I'm like, I wasn't big into that. So when I jumped into Metal, I was like, whoa, this is and I gotta go get back issues about certain things because everybody right now is putting their top game into their top titles. Everybody right now, Marvel, everybody is saying, look, if we gonna make this product work, it's gotta be great. Spider-Man is now becoming hotter. Thor is becoming hotter. Well, on the DC side, Flash, you said Flash was always good. I've
always enjoyed Flash.
But they gotta make these books sell. They gotta make these stories intrinsic and make you care about them. And they gotta world build. World building is everything. And I'm telling you, with Hickman and the writers that he got under this title, oh my God. Everybody is doing a great job. Look, I'm in.
All right, guys, that's our opinion on X-Men Tenosaurs, the creation. Hey, give us a like, give us a subscribe, hit us up in the comment section. We do a great job of trying to get back to you guys. As always, thanks.
Peace.